What if the problem isn't effort, but access? Every day people are ready to work, but are blocked by barriers: no identification, lack of childcare, justice involvement, no work history, not because they lack motivation, but because they lack access. For too long, we've misunderstood the problem. We've blamed individuals instead of addressing the systems that hold them back. That's where Straight Up Employment Services comes in. We exist to bridge the gap between access and opportunity. We don't just help people find jobs. We create a system of change. We help individuals start their journey by building confidence and taking the first step. We stop the barriers that stand in the way by helping with identification, transportation, and real support. And we sustain success through job placement, retention, and long-term growth. This is about more than employment. It's about transformation, from feeling stuck to finding purpose, from surviving to building stability. With over 250 individuals served and a 75% placement rate, Straight Up is proving that when barriers are removed, people rise. Stronger individuals lead to stronger families, and stronger families build stronger communities. Barriers don't define people. Lack of access does. At Straight Up Employment Services, we believe everyone deserves a fair shot at opportunity. That's why we're launching the No Barriers campaign, a movement to remove the obstacles that stand between people and employment. You can be part of the change. Share your story. Support someone's journey. Hashtag No Barriers on your social media, or sponsor a participant and help turn potential into purpose. Because when access is created, lives are transformed. Join us today. Be the reason someone breaks through. Hashtag No Barriers.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Deshaun Jennings. I'm the founder of Straight Up Employment Services. Today, we will be discussing interviewing, um, just guiding you through the interview process, decoding the interview, making it more easy and simple to really grasp, so we can, bridge that gap between access and opportunity. So how's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is fine and everyone is living good and everyone is living well, taking proper steps towards their career path. And that's always a good thing. And so today, without further ado, we're going to be it's a pretty extensive presentation, but we're going to get through it. So we're going to talk about what employers are really listening for. We're going to talk about what employers are really listening for um, during the interview, really the code in that process, right? To get you to understand, what is it really like and what are you doing it for and what you should be watching out for, some things you shouldn't be doing, etc. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to work today. By the end of today, we will understand. By the end of today, you will understand what employers are actually evaluating. You'll break down common interview question types, learn how to answer why should we hire you, as well as identify red flags that can hurt your chances to actually gain an employment. So let's start off with this question. What do you think employers care about most in the interview? Shout out to Dunkin' Donuts for providing straight up employment services with a cup of Joe with one of those big boxes of coffee every morning. I appreciate that. What do you think employers care about most in the interview? What employers are really evaluating, right? So when you think about what do they care about most, it's really what they're evaluating, what they're trying to look at, or try to get a sense of when it comes to selecting the right candidate for a certain position. And if you have gotten into the interview process or the interview. Excuse the technical difficulties. Check one. Yep, employers are really trying to ensure that they're making the right decisions when it comes to, um, selecting the right candidate. So it's always mindful to understand what they're evaluating and what's at stake when you're in the interview process and what to look out for. So let's say you're in an interview and you just walked in. What do you think the first thing they're looking for, right? And what's the first thing that gives off from a person? That energy, right? So looking at your energy when you go into a interview process, understanding that your energy is a important dynamic when it comes to um, you know giving off great feedback and impression to a potential employer. Reliability that will show up consistently, like your reliability. Um, they want to see they based on questions, they're going to explore reliability based on your answers and how you can answer. Communication, whether it's respectful, is clear, it's confident, and it actually fits your resume. And also your effort. Did you prepare, right? Did you actually prepare to for the interview? Did you do your research as we are discussing our later work groups? The hidden question behind every interview is really what employers are really asking, right? They Can I trust you to show up, right? Can you handle responsibility? Are you able to represent the company well? These are questions that they ask, and they are able to extract that information. I'll give an example. A question like, what was your last employer experience like? Why aren't you there anymore? Some people will go off and say that that employer was not so much of a good employer, but in all actuality, it actually shows them how you represent a company in good and bad times, and that's important. When things don't go your way, or if things switch, it may not be company based, it may be personal based. So, how you represent the company, and are you worth the investment? This is all um, what they're going to be able to show, and would it be an indicator when you show up for the interview? So there are several types of interview questions. I will break them down to certain concepts. There are behavioral questions, right? Kind of lean into your past. Um, Tell me about a time when, or how was your first job, or something like that. Employers really seek proof of experience when they're asking these type of questions. In furtherance, they may ask some situational questions, right? That are kind of lean towards your future. What would you do if, right? On those type of questions. They're really scaling your decision making. So understand the different types of questions. Some may be behavioral based, some may be situational. That can kind of give you more, uh, you know, leeway when it comes to an interview and actually gaining the opportunity in this competitive market. So, how to answer these behavioral questions, right? You should use the STAR method, right? Situation should indicate what happened, the task, right? So, for example, they may ask a question: how did you handle um, a customer that did not have their needs satisfied? And you can use the STAR method in that type of situation by really looking at a past situation where at work, when you kind of realize that, you can either go from first person or to another person and really reflect on what you saw. Really want to indicate the situation. The customer, um, there was a item that they called and said it was in the store. They traveled 30 miles to the store, right? And the item wasn't there.
after they made the call to confirm. So what was your role, right? Then you want to get into the task. What was your role in that situation? Was you the one to actually speak with the client? Was you the one to actually help the client navigate or introduce them to the manager to actually deal with the conflict? What did you do? What action and what happened after? What was the result of that situation? Is kind of what you want to really lean on when you are answering those behavioral questions. So remember the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. So here's a question that they may ask that always drives people crazy. Why should we hire you? This is the question that they're really asking to see if you're valuable, right? Or why should they choose you over someone else in this competitive job market? So understanding why um, should we hire you, you should be really looking at your skills, right? You should be looking at your strengths. You should be looking at who you are and how you can apply to that role. So there's a formula for a strong answer. I'm gonna put it in a three-part structure. You should look at your skill, right? What you can do. What skill do you have that applies to this certain job role? How do you show up to this job role? What is your work ethic? Are you punctual? Do you communicate well, etc.? uh, why are you a good fit? Why do you belong there? Right? You can use an example such as I am reliable, I learn fast, and I take pride in my work, or I'm someone who shows up ready and gets the job done, etc. So there are some weak answers, as we this slide indicates. If you just go in there, they ask you, "Why should we hire you?" You just say, "I just really need a job." That's a really a weak answer. You should provide more emphasis and really practice on, although that may be a reason, put more emphasis on it that aligns with your strengths and skills and how you can actually bring value to this certain role and really want to indicate that accordingly. So a strength baseline would be as read as you see here. I'm dependable. I work hard and I'm looking to place where I can grow and contribute. So same truth, but different impact. Some red flags, some things you should avoid when it comes to interviewing. First off, without having to explain too much, showing up late is really a red flag that indicates that you will show up late to work. As a direct correlation to that. Vague or confusing answers, really not giving answers that really provide depth to the question, but given a on the surface answer can be very confusing. Blaming past employers, as we just mentioned, you want to kind of stay away from although you may have had a bad experience and it may have been their fault, but you really want to really come to reality that some things are more personal than company and separate the two. Um, so blaming past employers for that reason can show that you don't represent a company well. Oversharing personal trauma. Don't go in there looking for a handout or a sob story or someone to help you. Show strength. Show that you are an asset. If you show too much personal trauma, that can reflect on potential days that you will call out to deal with that type of situation. So don't even go there. Low energy, no enthusiasm. If you go into an interview with low energy and no enthusiasm, that's the same amount of energy that you will get when it comes to your response to your application. So just keep that in mind. Even one of these red flags can cost you the opportunity. So it's important that you be on your A game when it comes to interviewing. If you need assistance, always feel free to reach out to one of your employee mentors here at Straight Up Employment Services that can assist you with mock interviewing and navigating those complexities of interviews and avoiding these red flags. I was Our framework here at Straight Up Employment Services, and what we would recommend our clients really take a second to do is really in the interview process is start. We have a start, stop, sustain framework, which we apply to different methods of our work, even with our staff. Um, we really show up prepared. You want to show up prepared. You want to know the job. Do your research, right? Start there. Doing your research about the company, doing a simple Google search, extracting some information that you could be able to provide towards the interview to show that you are actually interested in the role by your research. Also, you want to, when you get into the interview, you want to take a stop, right? And understand when you're rambling, oversharing, or negative talk. Be very concise with your answers. Answer the question. Don't over answer, because that shows that you're just trying to overprove. If you're sure of yourself, the answer will be direct, confirmed, and meeting the criteria of your job description because you did your research, right? And that's what that type of activity and behavior can exemplify for you. Avoid oversharing and negative talk. Also, finally, sustain. Understand that clear communication is important. When you're in that space, you want to make sure that you're directing um, the answers, or you are directing your questions in a clear fashion that the employer will be able to understand, that can show and exemplify a level of confidence, um, which overall provides you a great sense of professional energy, and which is also is great at navigating in these type. So just to think, just a little activity to do with yourself. Um, you know, how it works. I'll give an answer. You tell me what's good, what could be better. And we'll improve it together. If you are online, if you want other clients, drop it in the chat as you are in focus mode. I really can't see you, and we are live. If you are looking in on YouTube, just drop a comment, right? Like it. Tell me about yourself. The question that an interview employer may ask you to um, is to tell me about yourself. And some answers is I've been through a lot. I had struggles, but I'm trying to get back on track. What's wrong with that? Right? Is anything wrong with that answer? How do we fix it? Do it need to be fixed? Right? So just think along those lines when you're answering questions. An improved version. Tell me about yourself. I'm someone who focuses on growth. I've worked in different environments, and I've learned how to stay consistent and adapt. Right now, I'm ready to bring that into a stable work setting. Right. So that's a more improved version. Key take some key takeaways from this training. Employers are watching behaviors, not just your answers. Structure your responses, sell your value clearly, be your resume, and avoid common red flags. And as usual, if you need any assistance with navigating this, if you're a client watching, please feel free to reach out to your employee mentor as they can assist you with setting up a mock interview, so we can be able to align you with a specific role so you can be comfortable in your interviewing. Or if you don't even have a job lined up, we can assist you either way with a mock interview. Next week, we will be discussing how do you tell your story without hurting your chances. This is really looking at leaning into my justice impacted individuals. Um, so, your story is powerful. Let's learn how to tell it the right way, in a strength-based way. All right. So, thank you for, tuning into our employment support group. It's always a pleasure of mine to host these um, every month. Also, hopefully one day this will be hosted by a specific volunteer or a specific employee. You won't be seeing me anymore. And then we know this thing is growing as we want it to. So again, thank you. Everyone have a happy Monday. Enjoy your weather and peace.